All right. Here we are. Impact and Influence Radio right here on iHeart. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Blinds of Sacramento, Sacramento's complete solution window covering experts. Give them a call, 916-790-8689 or blindsofsacramento.com. Now, today, we've got Christa Ferrill from Home by Christa. I ran into her a number of years ago at a local Starbucks. And we talked, and then she completely went MIA. No, I'm kidding. And then we ran into each other at a networking event. And I'm like, I know you. And she's like, okay. How are
Mom
you, my
brain.
dear? You know what, though? We run into a million people.
I think I ran into you when the idea was like coming to fruition.
You know, what's interesting is when we met, when we sat down originally, it was during COVID. It was a very weird time. We didn't know where everything was going. We had lockdowns, and it was just a very weird time. I remember we had to have the masks and all that nonsense. And so now we're in a completely different space, different headspace. Our businesses are thriving. And so when we meet at this networking event, it was a couple, 3 weeks ago, there's just a completely different energy. There's 100 people in a room, none of us wearing masks, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a completely different thing, and we're both in a different place.
Absolutely.
And also, we were selling something different. I was talking about doing video for you and stuff at that time.
Yeah, I was having babies and thinking about what I wanted to do. So completely.
No, but it is cool to go back and reconnect. So how are you, my dear?
I'm doing really well, and I'm super excited. It's my first time.
This is your first time doing anything on a mic.
Yeah.
So you've never done mics before.
I mean, maybe in like my 4th grade, 5th grade choir, but other than that, no.
Make a habit of it.
Yeah.
No, seriously, make a habit of it. These setups are not as expensive as people think now. If you got your video recording here as well.
Yep.
Just taking this content, putting it on social media, and the consistency could really improve things. My opinion is the audio is a little bit more gives you a little bit more than the video in my sense, and because there's so many people doing video now, it's like, how do you separate yourself? And if you're doing the radio, the podcast kind of thing.
Well, and I love podcasts. I mean, even driving here, I'm listening to podcasts.
What are you listening to?
I vary from trash reality non-thinking to like business podcasts and storytelling and entrepreneur stuff.
People love stories.
Oh yeah,
they
absolutely.
love stories.
Yeah,
and we have.
that's what they can relate to.
But we have a community here,
yeah.
Okay. And the reason why this show works is we're bringing real people in the community, and so you're going to do your show. We're going to put it up on our platform. People are going to turn around and listen to it. Yeah. You might get on there and I'll take this and share it to all your people, but you're going to then poke around and see who else is on there, see if you know anybody.
I've listened to a few.
And see, that's the whole point is
totally.
that when you have 100 people all working, it's like a deck of cards in a sense. You've got like millions of opportunities there. It's really cool. It's really, really a cool thing. All right. So Home by Christa, what do you do?
So I have a background in corporate, always been in some kind of HR, high quota, high achieving, high production type of environment. I've always been a high producer, just always been in that go type of role. And when we had our first baby, I took a step back and I worked from home. And gosh, being a stay-at-home parent, that was the hardest job I've ever had in my life.
So it isn't what Bill Burr says.
Oh my gosh. I remember thinking, I'd rather be doing stay at home rather than sitting at this desk. And then I did it. And I think after 2 weeks, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go crazy. How do people do this?
What was it for you?
I think I'm used to being on top of it, high achieving, the production. And then I went from that to just being on someone else's schedule when they wanted it. And I felt like I could never finish something. I went through a really hard postpartum season and we got pregnant shortly after. So I had 2 babies within 14 months. And during that time it was COVID. My husband's a firefighter. So he's gone, 2 up to 4 days at a time. And so I just found myself really lost.
Is he with the city or is he with like Cal Fire?
He's with Sac Metro.
Okay.
Yeah. And so.
Yeah, see, my neighbor's Cal Fire. So he's gone sometimes for like months.
Oh yeah, and they they have their heavy season and they could be gone for weeks at a time. And I say like 4 days, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for you to come home. But I remember having 2 little ones. My husband's at work. I remember him saying, why don't you just call for help? You know, ask someone to come babysit. And that thought was like more overwhelming. And so I realized I needed to get some systems in place in my own home to, like, if he was home or wasn't home, we were still moving and grooving. And so that's kind of where
there's so many opportunities. And I'm not trying to dismiss that, but there's so many opportunities for moms to work from home today, though, as well.
Well, you know, what's funny is before I went back to work, it was right at the beginning of COVID when my maternity leave was almost up. And it was right when COVID was kind of like, hey, this is a thing. And I reached out, hey, I'm supposed to return back to work. Is there any opportunity to work from home or, you know, work remotely? And because I worked for the county at the time, they were like, absolutely not. Everyone works in the office. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
Sac County, Yellow County?
Placer County.
Placer County. See, my wife was with Yellow County.
And I get it. They have to abide for everyone.
Yeah.
And, you know, a month later, they all were working from home. And so, you know, but at the time.
Even the state, you're still, my wife is only downtown twice a week.
Yeah.
And so
and childcare, you know, and I was so in postpartum depression, I couldn't think outside of like other solutions. I was just like, okay, my husband's not home. I can't work from home. The commute's over 30 minutes. Daycares were closing.
Yeah.
I felt like I had no other option.
It was a weird thing. You know, we were sitting there, we had the radio shows. We couldn't be in the studio.
Yeah.
We couldn't record people. And so we were like, what else could we do? So we were shooting video and stuff, and then government just started giving everyone money. So my buddy and I, we were like, just to go shoot a movie.
Yeah.
So I just traveled the country and just shot a movie. I was like, the government's going to pay for me to just... So that's what I did. I just made a movie. We've made 5 of them now.
That's awesome.
You know?
Yeah, I just felt like being at home and being in that postpartum season, I was like, okay, I have to do something or I'm going to drown. And so I started setting up systems that worked for our family. And then I was like, okay, this could work for other families too. And so I started doing it for friends. I started doing it for, you know, people in the community for free. I went back to the corporate world, like, hey, maybe this is what I need. And that's kind of where the idea of Home by Christa started, was helping other families, because I know what those moms are going through, setting up systems that work for them. You
know, I got to get you in contact with Carlin with Chaos Performance. Do you know Carlin?
I don't think so.
She's going to be on the cover of... no, it's not. I was going to give you my phone. I don't have any photos on my phone. I don't keep stuff on my phone. It's on our Instagram. So let me pull up the Instagram. So Carlin, she's all about helping moms with...
Oh, is she the fitness?
Yes,
I did.
Food.
I heard, yes.
Of course. And then my music, my phone's turned all the way up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Carlin's great.
That's awesome.
And so she's all about helping moms as well. I want to get the two of you guys connected.
Absolutely. I've always been a high achiever. I got this. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, my husband would be gone. I'm like, cool, I got this. And then he'd come home and I'm like, nope, I still got this. And then I took on way too much. I didn't even know how to ask for help at that point. Mm-hmm. And I think we all struggle with that. You know, there's women out there that are working and have young kids and they want to do it all. And we take on so much that they don't know how to live outside of being overwhelmed. It's like their baseline.
Yeah. And then they burn out.
Yeah. We burn out.
We all burn out.
Yeah.
Okay. So what exactly is it though that you're doing? Is it home organization?
Yeah. So we come in, depending on clients' needs,
Mm-hmm.
we come into your space and, you know, I have a lot of people reach out. They're like, my pantry, I can't find anything in there. Mm-hmm. We just go and eat out. Like I open my pantry and I just shut the door. Mm-hmm. And so we come in and set up systems for them, depending, you know, we'll take everything out, throw away any expired stuff, anything that, you know, you bought last week that your kids are like, I don't like that anymore. Uh-huh. And it just sits in your pantry because you don't want to throw it away or you feel bad. So we come and set up systems for them that work for, you know, do they have young kids? Do you guys like to bake a lot? Do you have popcorn nights? You know, things like that we set up that fit your family. And then, you know, we can come in and maintain the space. If people are like, this is really great, but I can't maintain it. Can you come in? So we'll come in and do maintenance sessions for people too.
Now, what about cleaning and so forth?
We do like a general cleaning. We're not deep cleaners. We are not like your house cleaner. We come in, say we take everything out of your pantry, we vacuum, wipe the shelves down. You we leave the space cleaner than we came to, but we're not like a deep clean.
What about like laundry and that kind of stuff?
We don't do laundry right now. There's really great services that come in and do all your laundry for
But
you.
you could probably help people set up. And,
Yeah.
and
Oh
so,
yeah, absolutely.
And so it kind of reminds me of those TV shows, those HGTV shows,
Yep.
almost like the nanny. What was the British lady?
Oh yes.
That was more.
I used to watch that.
That
but
was
yes.
more of the children and
Childcare, yeah.
discipline type thing, but
Yeah.
but yeah, coming in and creating an orderly family.
Yeah, and it's thinking outside the box. I walk with my clients. Okay, do you guys come in the front door or do you come in through your garage? Why am I going to set up a whole system for them at their front door if everything gets dumped by the garage door?
Yeah.
So it's just thinking about how do we function as a family.
Yeah. No, that's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Now, maybe this is a little bit touchy subject. There's families that are, they're busy or they're just sloppy people, and then you end up with hoarding type situations where the closets and the garages are just full of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, do you go into these homes and you're like, oh my, I need to really dial these people in?
It's funny you say that. Every single client says, I bet this is the worst home you've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Every time.
I know.
And they could have like nothing on the floor. And I'm like, so everyone's level, I think hoarding is like a very widely used term. People that grew up in, like myself personally, my mom was very strict in far as like how the house was kept.
Yeah.
So to her,
Saturday morning, we
hoarding,
had to clean everything before
you're
breakfast.
Up. Yeah. Hoarding to her could
Yeah.
mean something completely different. But I mean, when we walk into those situations, it's kind of opposite. Like the more I see, the more I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get into this.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
No, my wife, it's funny. My wife would be like, this house is a freaking pigsty. And I'm like, where?
Oh,
Tell
yeah.
me what is out of place. She
Yeah.
said, look at the dust boards or whatever they call them. The
baseboards?
Baseboards.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just covered in dust. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
I remember finding one of my journals when we were cleaning up my mom's house. It was like a kid's journal. And I remember writing in there, Mom yelled at me and she said my room was a mess and there was one towel on the floor. And I'm like documenting this and I'm like, so everyone's level is so different.
Yeah.
I mean, true hoarding is, there are specialists for that. And I typically refer those to the specialists, like true hoarding.
Yeah, and those are going to be the biohazard cleanup.
Exactly.
We've worked with them over the years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we actually
And
have one.
they need a lot more support, and it's more mental health than...
It's mental health.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I mean, we were just at a networking event the other day, and one of the guys, are you doing the BizLink events? So you know Dylan?
Yes.
Dylan. And so Dylan and I go way back, like almost his high school days. And so Dylan, he was talking about, we just had this hoarding situation, and there were like dead rats and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, that's horrible. Like, we've got to, first of all, what do we do? Right. We just try to help them as best as we can. It's crazy stuff.
Exactly. And it's crazy. A lot of, like, I am always concerned. I want to do such a good job for my clients. And a lot of times we'll come in and the first day is a lot of just decluttering, like going through what you do and don't want to keep.
Are you a clutter bug? Because my wife and I, we're minimalists, and people don't understand what that means.
Yeah. I'm not a minimalist, but I'm like a thoughtful minimalist kind of.
Like I have one pen, I have one watch.
Oh, so yeah.
I
That's
have
good.
like 4 pairs of pants,
Yeah.
like 6 shirts. Like we don't have a television in the house. Why
Yeah.
would we need to? We have a theater in here.
Well, a lot of people, because it gets set down and then they can't find it, so they buy it again.
Yeah.
And so it's like we can come in, help them see, okay, I have 12 pairs of scissors, and that helps them say,
one.
oh, I really don't need that much.
I have one.
Yeah.
We have literally, and we have, and it gets weird because, like, how you're like you're on Amazon late at night and you're just laying in bed,
absolutely.
and you're just like looking at all this
Yeah.
stuff that you want to buy, and like my cart has like 4 things, like
Or you need one more thing to get the same day shipping. Like, what can I buy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do that. I just go, oh, new polo shirt,
Yeah.
$14. But no, like seriously, I the things in my cart are like, I want to get a new patio set. I want to get nicer hangers.
Yeah.
Like that's the stuff that I want to get because like we've gotten to a point where it's like we have everything that we need.
Right.
But there's people out there that just clutter. They're just like, I need 400 pairs of shoes.
Yeah. Just that day. A lot of times, people say they want the fancy, aesthetically pleasing looking playroom. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we come in and that first day they're like, this was worth it just going through and decluttering. Because think about it, you're like looking at that every single day and it's like, boom, it's within, less than 6 hours.
Do you have people that fight back? Do you remember that show, Clean House? Remember the show with Niecy Nash, Clean House? And
I love her.
I love Niecy Nash, and I loved that show. That was actually a really good show. And so, but there was every now and again there'd be somebody they'd come into their home and they'd be like, "This is not what I wanted. This is really bad." They start crying and everything. Do you have those moments where people are just like, "Oh my God"?
I have people like we help guide you to make the decision and at a quicker pace.
They have to make
we
the decision.
Never make, and I think people fear that we'll come in and like make them get rid of their stuff. Yeah. That's not it at all. Yeah. We help you get to the answer, if you want to keep it or not. We don't ever force anyone to get rid of anything. But at the end of the day, I'm not a magician. I can't make your wall taller or longer. The space is the space that you have. And so we try to like contain it as best we can, but at the end of the day, it's up to you.
It's funny. I see these things on Instagram, and it'll say like, the gentleman's room, right? And it'll be like, this is the room before, this is the room after, and I'm like, that's not even the same dimensions. Shut up! There was no window over there. Like, get out of here.
AI, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Or those divorce glow up ones. I'm like, this isn't even the same person.
Or some of those are scary. Some of those I feel bad for the person that was in the relationship. I'm like, dude, put your clothes back on. You don't need to show the world you're not in any clothes on the internet. Yeah. Like, shut up, All right, so I don't know where that came from. Passion. Why are you so passionate about this?
Honestly, I was the kid that rearranged my room so many times. Oh my gosh. I would take
I'd get bored of the bed here and I'd want to do it over there.
I would go as far as like sleeping opposite in my bed just to switch it up.
Oh my God. So
yes.
Yes.
And so I was always rearranging. I talk about this on my website. Your parents come to
tuck you in and they go to kiss your feet.
Right? I put this on my website because it's like a vivid memory on, I think, summer break. And this is back when, we didn't have summer camps and stuff. We were at home where our parents went to work. And I remember rearranging my mom's closet, redoing her closet, setting it up so nice. And I remember she came home and she was just glowing about how it looked. And me feeling so prideful that like I made her feel like that. And so I was part of a women's networking group and we talked about, what did you love to do when you were a kid?
This is what I talk about with entrepreneurs all the time. They're like, I want to start a business. I don't know where to start. I go, what is something you've had since you were a kid that nobody could take away from you? And a lot of people don't know. Yeah. I'm like, that's where you've got to start. And I love that you're talking about this.
And so I kind of connected the dots. I'm like, okay, I loved to do this as a kid, which sounds so odd. Like me cleaning out my mom's closet was a vivid memory, but it wasn't that. It was the way it made her feel. Yeah. And I remember that. And I think now, when I was kind of getting out of that postpartum season, I noticed myself doing some similar things. And I'm like, I could really help other women do this. So that's what I'm really passionate about is more, as moms, a lot of times we feel like we're like the hammer at home. We feel like we're mad all the time. We're yelling all the time. We're on top of people all the time. And I think this just makes it's like a weight off your shoulders. You feel like you can be relaxed again. You can sit down and have a glass of wine and not be staring at all the stuff you have to get done.
Yeah, that's why my wife and I became minimalists.
Yeah.
We're just no crap.
Yeah. So the passion is just making women feel better again. They're getting their confidence back.
How do the husbands feel?
I think the husbands a lot of times get the brunt of it. We can become, and not we, but
well, no, I mean, when you after you come in and tighten everything
up.
Oh,
what's funny is a lot of times it's mostly women that reach out to me. I have had some men too, that want to help their wives, but ultimately at first there's a little pushback. And then they see it and they're like, oh my gosh, what other space can you do for me?
Yeah, well, they want a kingdom when they come home and they work really, really hard. I mean, we all do. We all work really, really hard for our stuff, men and women. Yeah. And we want a nice space.
Yeah. And I think a lot of time the men come home and, their wife is crying or frustrated or overwhelmed. And imagine coming home to your wife being excited and relaxed and wanting,
I'm
you know,
married
the
to a
energy.
Russian. She's always angry. Here, I'll show you what her thing looks like in my phone. So her name in my phone is Thunder Potato.
Oh my gosh.
And this is her. She actually sent me the image, believe it or not. But this is what she is in my phone.
I love that. Oh my gosh. It's just like an angry potato. Like, see, I told you the hammer. She's got like her fist up.
And so where the potato comes from, she's Russian, right? And Russians, everything's potato.
Yeah.
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 It's just so funny.
I know. I think it's hard for women to like convince, I guess, their husbands sometimes of like, we could really benefit from this.
I'm more going to the whole thing like, where'd my slippers go? And she doesn't remember where she put them. They're in a safe place.
Yeah.
And then, when everything is in a safe place, I don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
And so, she's like, I put them away. Sometimes putting away means they're in the closet. Sometimes they're under the couch. Sometimes they're under the bed. Sometimes they're in the hall closet.
Yeah.
Sometimes and it's like, what was the safe place? I don't remember where I put them. So before you walk the dog, you're looking for your slippers and you're just like walking through the whole house trying to find your slippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have a designated slipper zone.
I just tell her put them in a freaking hall closet.
Yeah, there you go.
She's like, oh yeah, but that's where I put them. They're not there. It's just, it's fun. I think it's those moments though that make the marriages so fun. I think it's those moments.
Totally.
Yeah, it's those moments. It's the little things like that just like, what did you do with my keys? I put them where they go. They're not where they go. And now you're all over the house. You're looking for them. And then, you realize they were in your pocket the whole time. One of those types of things.
Yeah.
We all do it. We're on the phone talking to somebody looking for our phone. And we're in a hurry,
So true.
Yeah. Types of clients.
I work with a lot of high achieving, busy, working professional moms. Well, I guess I should say high achieving working moms. A lot of professional women identify as moms first. A lot of times they won't identify themselves as a professional first. So a lot of women who are, they leave their house at 6:30 and they don't get home till 6:30.
I know.
And then their weekends are filled with kids' sports, birthday parties, family obligations. And then it's like this thing, like the pantry is in the loop of your brain all the time. I got to get that done. I got to get that done.
And when you do get a moment, you just want to chill, dude.
You just want to relax. You just want a moment.
I know.
Like you've been running all the time. And so those women they know what they want. They just don't have time to execute.
But that's where you can come in, and I love this. I love this service that you're doing. This is really, really good stuff. Yeah. You were mentioning before we got started about a free workshop. What is this? Yeah,
so we're building it right now. So I'll definitely be shouting it out on our Instagram page, Facebook, all of that. So me personally, my husband is a firefighter, like I said. So I understand solo parenting, and it's just not firefighting. Anyone that works with a spouse that's gone.
I grew up with truck drivers.
Yeah, and they're gone all week.
Time. Yeah.
And
entertainment business, you're doing movies or whatever, you're in wherever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I relate to those people that don't have a spouse there 24/7. Mm-hmm. And so it's really touching on how do you maintain your schedules and a routine in the household with or without a spouse there, and they can jump in and they know the routine when they are home. It just keeps the home flowing rather than, dad's home, dad's going to do this today, or mom's home, or your spouse or anything. It felt very wishy-washy when we were first kind of getting into the kids going to school, both of us working. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's just going to be a workshop for women that can relate to that or that need more guidance in setting up systems in their home.
Excellent. And then, of course, I want to personally, I want to introduce you to Beth Williams over at Walk Your Plans.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a great lady.
That's awesome.
No, seriously, the energy. You know how you meet some people and their energy is just so infectious?
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, I really want to get to know this person. Yeah. I really want to be a part of what they're doing. And, Beth is one of those very, very few that I just have the utmost respect for this person. That's awesome. She comes to one of our events and she's like, oh, we're going to be launching this business in last October. We're going to be, opening our location in October. you and I talk to professionals all day long.
Yeah.
When somebody says they're opening a business, the odds of that happening are like very slim. And you kind of, think about it. You're like, okay, good. Well, good luck. You let me know, And then she comes on the show and she's like, yeah, we're a couple of weeks away from getting everything done. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, cool. All right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I start seeing all of her events come across on the calendar. And then I go out to the location and I'm like, you did it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you friggin' did it. Like, everything that she said she was going to do. And she's like, well, I told you I was going to. Yeah, but I've been at this 30 years. Like, that's the 5% actually.
I think we have a lot of good ideas a lot of times as entrepreneurs. We have so many, like, ooh, like, I can do this, I can do that.
No, but we got to get the building permits, and we have to get the storefront, and we have to go through the city, and we have to all the stuff. Yeah. And then at the end you're looking at it and you're like, it's going to take me 5 years to pay all this crap off, and you're like, it just doesn't make sense that we just throw the idea out. And she did it. Like, and she's kicking ass. No, I love it. I love it. So, Christa Ferrill. HomeByChrista.com, 916-409-7155. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Yeah, if you're sitting in your home right now listening to this and you're thinking about that space that just irks you, that's on your to-do list 24/7, let us come in, DM me. We can chat about the space or how it can help you, or we can come in and do it for you. But we'd be happy to talk to you guys.
Home by Christa, CHRISTA.com, 916-409-7155. I want to thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.